There are losers, there are idiots, and then there are people who use cheats in video games.
Hi, it's Zobo1975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Xbox. And today I've got a combat logging clip, but I'm not going to throw too much shade at this commander. I've spoken to him, JPaul, who is the commander in the other Anaconda that we're seeing the point of view of, has also spoken to him. I just left them in a party chat just now to come and make this video. And yeah, there was kind of a redemption arc going on there. Basically, he didn't realize the other person was a player. He panicked. He didn't know what was going on. There was a bit of that. It was he fired first, then combat logged. Now he does admit now that he combat logged. He's been very contrite about it. But his original story was that he menu logged. And the thing that interested me was the comments from someone in his squadron. Now I've removed that person's gamer tag from his messages, but I'd like to go through some of his messages because they are interesting and they are in a way quite salty. I understand that talking up for your squad mate though. I do understand you would go to bat for your squad mate, so respect for that.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Now this is the comment from Sandy Samarco, the lead developer at the time for Elite Dangerous, about combat logging and what is and isn't combat logging. It's basically just exiting ungracefully, so dashboarding, switching the power off, that sort of thing. Now during the discussion with JP, who messaged him and said like one of your guys in your squad has combat logged, he said first off logging is not cheating, isn't against terms of service, which it is because he's identified as an unintended exploit. But the one that gets me is actually, I'm not too worried about the second one, but the third one, following someone in game is actually a bannable offence per terms of service. I really want to know where he's got this from, because I really, yeah, I know a squadron that hunts down people, and yeah, I definitely would love to know how that's against terms of service so I can get them all banned. No, only joking. I've never heard of that one. It was quite funny. And then he goes on to make several comments. Now I will point out that if you're engaged in power play and in open, you have to expect combat. And also menu logging is still considered combat logging.
Started. Oh my gosh. I could just carry on playing this for a while. No. All right, anyway.
We actually shut the stream down, but we're going to keep playing here, so...
Look, I'm not allowed to because it's technically combat logging. So what I'll do is I'll leave this running and then see if my multi-crew companions can handle themselves.
And the last thing about power play is that it has... Yeah,
so was the first thing, and now you're telling us that the last
No,
thing.
there was two things there.
Oh, were there?
It's player authored, right, and it's galactic-wide content, dynamic changing content. Mm-hmm. But importantly, most important of all, it allows consensual PvP. Consensual PvP. Okay, so at its core of it, it's a way for players to work together in teams against other players in teams, and that's good.
The reason I put those clips in from Devo is because this guy went on to say that the 15-second cooldown. Now, this wasn't the guy that combat logged, this was one of the members of his squadron, and at the time he thought that his guy had menu logged, and he's justifying it by saying that menu logging cooldown is always legitimate in the eyes of FDev. While that's technically true, and you will never get banned for menu logging, FDev have said if you menu log during combat, the community may still consider it combat logging. And that is the more of the point on Xbox these days. FDev don't do anything about combat logging. They really don't. They don't care. They seemingly don't care. They may temporarily ban somebody once in a blue moon, but it's very, very rare that they ban anyone for combat logging. They take a harsh stance on a couple of things, but combat logging is not one of them. The thing that you have to worry about with combat logging is the community's backlash. That's the thing that people underestimate. There is a large portion of the community, virtually all of the open players that are regular open players, are very against combat logging, and that can cause you problems. That can cause you, more difficulty down the line. I would never recommend doing it just because of the stigma attached to it. And if you do it, take the approach of this gentleman. This gentleman who combat logged has done the right thing. He's put his hands up, he's apologised, said he won't do it again, and owned it. That is the best course of action. If you do it, own it, move on. People who continually deny it or continue to do it, will not get the forgiveness of the community. And there is also nowhere for people to go. If someone comes at you and says, you're a combat logger, and you go, yeah, I combat logged. There's nothing really there for them to take, to go at you for. If you own it, admit it, you're good. People make mistakes. I'm of the opinion that, people should have a second chance. A lot of my friends are not of that opinion. Once a logger, always a logger. Once a cheat, always a cheat. And there is that debate to be had, and there are squadrons that won't let you in, such as my own squadron, the Dark Marauders. Pirate Orc does not allow anyone who combat logged ever for any reason, and that's Orc's rules, so they apply. He is the leader of the squadron. We have a couple of times had it go to the vote, and the vote's always gone in Orc's favour on that thing, because the majority of the squad agree with him. I'm of the opinion that everyone deserves a second chance, and that's the way it goes. Now, thanks to JPaul for these screenshots. I have cut out the commander's name who sent these messages. I was just interested from the point of view that I thought they were quite funny, and there was some stuff in there that I wanted to pick out, because just saying that chasing someone in this game is a bannable offence. I mean, I got a video where I chased a guy like 5 jumps with a wake scanner, but that's what a wake scanner is designed for, to allow you to chase after someone. So how can that be a bannable offence? If it is, I'm screwed. I've broken terms of service by using my wake scanner. But yeah, there was a couple of interesting comments to pick over. This guy, he admits to doing it. He's done the right thing. He's and yeah, I've got a bit of a redemption arc video coming with him later, and I'll say that's all. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, especially about some of the comments. I would pause that long one and read through it, because it is properly funny and it is quite salty. I can understand standing up for your squad mate in a way, but trying to justify combat logging is very, very sketchy ground to be on. I would avoid doing that. But anyway, that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. 07 are all commanders involved. I'm glad everything's been sorted out amicably.
He's gone.